Hey friends, it's Amanda from Designs by Amanda K, and I am back with another brush pen review. Today is all about the Karin Brushmarker Pro brush pens. Okay, let's dive into the review. So if you hang out on Instagram at all and you watch lettering videos, you have probably seen these brush pens before. It seems like just about every lettering artist has them. It took me a while to jump on board, but I did get a couple in one of my Inky Box subscriptions and immediately fell in love. So over Christmas, I decided to treat myself and I bought the 72 pack. So this is all of the colors that Karin Brushmarker Pro come in, including the 12 neon colors. Let's just go ahead and dive in and let's talk about the brush tips on these. Okay, so the tip is medium large, and they're a little more cone shaped. You can tell that they're fatter towards the end. And the tips are actually made of nylon instead of felt, which makes them a little bit sturdier, and they can take rougher paper better than some of the felt tip markers can. So I'll actually use these pens on watercolor paper, and I'll get into that in a minute. They are self-cleaning tips, so just like Tombows or other water-based or a lot of water-based markers, you can touch two markers together of two different colors. And as you write, the pen will actually clean itself. So let me demonstrate. So this is just watercolor paper. And I'm going to touch the darker purple color onto the teal color. Let's see if we can get this in the camera here. And so it's just absorbing some of the purple onto the blue tip. And then as you write with it, so the colors kind of blend together. Let me zoom in. But as you write, the purple gets less and less. So that is what I mean by self-cleaning. And that's not a new thing. I mean, that Tombows do that. The Pentel touch sign pens do that. So that's not specific just to Karin's, but it is worth mentioning. So I talked a little bit about the nylon tips on these markers, and the reason that is important to know, they're not going to fray as easily, so you can use them on a slightly textured watercolor paper. Now, I wouldn't recommend going out and using a really rough watercolor paper. This is just Strathmore watercolor. I believe it's the 400 series. And so it's got a little tooth to it, but it's not super textured. You can also use them on hot press watercolor paper, which tends to be a little smoother to the touch. But the point being is you can use these on watercolor paper. So if you're doing a lot of blending, that comes in really handy. And you don't have to worry about messing those tips up as easily. Now, I've been using this set of pens. Let's see, I got the original 12 pack of colors back in early summer of 2020. So it's been not quite a year, but I use the heck out of them. And the tips still, they still look perfect. And I 99% of the time use them on this type of watercolor paper. So I personally do think that these are good pens for beginners. I think that the tips are a good size. They're not actually as large as Tombow pens, but because of the cone shape on the pen or on the tip, they actually have a little bit better control, and I feel like they're flexible but still pretty stiff, so they'll bounce back nice. So you can get that thin upstroke, thick downstroke with clean transitions. So let's talk a little bit about the colors in the ink. So they come in 72 different colors. The 72 colors includes 12 neon colors. You can buy them in small packs. I bought this original set just in their regular colors. You can buy them in I believe a 26 pack, and there's the 60 pack, which is all of the colors minus the neons. And then there's the mega pack, which has all 72 colors plus 3 blender markers. So the ink inside is liquid instead of what you typically see in markers, which is like a cartridge of ink. Let me see if I can get a better, maybe one that's easier to see. Maybe this yellow you can see a little bit. So see how that's liquid in there? So not only can you always tell how much you have, but the liquid will make sure that the saturation of the color in the ink is always the same. So even if you're getting low on your ink in here, the saturation shouldn't matter. So, you know, when a felt marker or cartridge marker starts to wear out, you can tell that the ink starts to fade a little bit and it's not as vibrant or saturated. That's not going to happen with this liquid ink. Because it's liquid ink, the ink the colors are very juicy. So when you first put them on paper, they're very juicy. There's just no other way for me to really describe it. But because of that, the liquid ink takes a little bit longer to dry. So that means if you're not careful, you might smudge some of your work. I also, because I'm messy and I have a really bad habit of putting my caps on the end of my marker, sometimes there's some residual ink inside the cap, and then it gets on the shaft of the pen, and then I end up with ink all over my hands. That could very well just be me, and I'm just messy, but I will mention that I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a con on the Karin markers, is the ink takes a little bit to dry and smudges, and then I get it all over my hands too. So where can you buy these? You can actually buy them on Amazon. You can buy them from Karin Markers, and they'll ship to the United States. You can buy them from Dick Blick. I bought mine from markeruniverse.com because they actually had the best price when I was looking around for them. And I purchased my large set on Black Friday because they had a little extra discount, I think just 10%, but it made it worth it on a large pack of pens. The price point per pen for me ended up being about $2 a pen, which that's about par. That's not crazy expensive for this type of marker. I think regular price or like on Amazon, they're closer to like $250, $275 per pen. I will leave links below to show you where you can purchase them. And obviously, based on where you live, the prices will differ a little bit. So I'm actually just going to do a little swatch of these and speed the video up so you can see how they write. There you have it. That is my review on the Karin Brushmarker Pro markers. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell for notifications so you know every time I post a new video. I will be posting a direct comparison video soon between the Karin markers and the Tombow markers. So I'm going to talk about the differences between the two, how they write, and also the differences in blending. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you hit the bell so you get a notification when that goes live. And that is it for me today. I will see you guys next time.